The Isle of Skye is frequently cited as the best place to go for those interested in experiencing the pinnacle of Scottish nature. With its otherworldly feel and breathtaking views, it's no wonder that Skye attracts hordes of nature lovers. While Skye gets plenty of much-deserved praise for its incredible hiking opportunities, the birding prospects of the biggest island within the Inner Hebrides are not well known. So, what's it like birding in Skye? Stick with me and find out. I spent 2 days birding around the Isle of Skye during peak spring migration in May, visiting several of Skye's most iconic attractions, including the Old Man of Storr and the Quiraing. But I also sought out some lesser-known places with tremendous birding potential. My first day exploring Skye began just outside the island with a quick visit to Eilean Donan Castle at sunrise. I was greeted by a few birds here, but the most accommodating was my lifer rock pipit. This subtle songbird was rummaging through the various seaweed species that could be found among the rocks lining the shores of Eilean Donan. Here, it foraged for invertebrates that could be found wiggling around their slimy surroundings. After finding breakfast, the rock pipit perched atop a nearby building and sang to its heart's content. With stunning views of Eilean Donan checked off my bucket list, it was time to visit the Isle of Skye. The first area that I explored was south central Skye, near Elgol. I didn't film a ton of birds here, but I did manage to find my lifer twite as a group hopped among the short grasses just off the roadside. Although birds can be hit or miss on Skye, one thing is for sure, you'll never experience a shortage of sheep on the island. They're absolutely everywhere. Although it's easy to overlook the sheep, some fascinating birds can be found among these mammals. The coolest of which is no doubt the northern lapwing if you ask me. I was obsessed with the little wisp of feathers blowing atop of this guy's head. Next it was off to Portree, the capital of Skye and hub for tourism on the island. Despite its appeal for tourists, this quaint town had tons of birds for me to find. First was this beautiful hooded crow with its bicolored plumage. This corvid is a specialty of the Scottish Highlands. There was no sign of this species just a few days earlier when I went birding in Glasgow. The most epic birds that I saw in Portree were a pair of grey wagtails that were collecting food to deliver to their young. Grey wagtails often build their nests behind waterfalls or adjacent to them, so the Quiraing waterfalls in Portree provided a tremendous opportunity to view this stunning species. After enjoying a couple of hours in Portree, it was time to experience the most popular hike on the Isle of Skye, the Old Man of Storr. I knew that I was in for impossibly beautiful views, but I was very curious about the birds that I would find during this 3-mile hike. I ended up finding 18 species on this trek, with the most exciting being the ring ouzel. What a fun name. I absolutely love it. These thrushes are elusive in Scotland, only being found along remote hills and ridges. This cooperative bird was right off the trail as I neared the Old Man of Storr. A few other species that I found during my hike included a European stonechat, 2 common cuckoos, and a northern wheatear. I ended my first day on Skye with a 3.5-mile hike around the northwestern tip of Skye, Rubahunish. Rubahunish is a location that receives very little traffic, and I found it to be a fantastic birding location. On your way out to the cliffs overlooking the Little Minch, you'll walk through pastures filled with sheep and a slew of grassland birds such as this Eurasian skylark. Northern wheatears were plentiful here, with at least half a dozen flitting atop small shrubs in the countryside. I also detected about 15 meadow pipits that seemed ubiquitous in this ecosystem. As I was admiring a stunning sunset over the Isle of Harris, my lifer white-tailed eagle flew past in the distance over the Little Minch, a cherry on top of this exceptional birding location. Overall, I observed 26 species at Rubahunish, and it was perhaps my favorite birding location during my entire 13-day trip to Scotland. I began my second day on the Isle of Skye by hiking what is no doubt the island's second most popular hike, the Quiraing. Northern wheat ears were the most common bird on this hike, as I totaled 13 of these stunning songbirds on my trek. Meadow pipits were also fairly common, as they sang their sweet songs in clumps of grass. Though I only observed 12 bird species while hiking the Quiraing, I did manage to get distant looks at a golden eagle at the end of the hike. Hey, who needs tons of birds when you can enjoy views like these? After completing the Quiraing, I traveled to the charming coastal village of Uig, where I hiked to the raw waterfalls. I had a wonderful hike in which I saw a grey wagtail foraging along the stream and an accommodating Eurasian blackbird singing. Uig was a nice stop for my journey to Skye, as it offered a chance to see some birds found in woodlands, a habitat that is scarce on Skye. Another bird that I had the pleasure of spotting in Uig was this preening common wood pigeon. And with that, it was time for me to wrap up my time on Skye and begin the lengthy journey to Ullapool. Overall, I observed 62 birds in 2 days where birding took a backseat to hiking. Still, I added 6 lifers on this amazing island and enjoyed some of the best views I've ever had while birding. I already miss this magical place, and I'll be very excited to one day return to Skye for more remarkable birding. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to press that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more Scottish bird content. This is WorldwideBirder, and I'll see you on my next birding adventure.